So this is the vitreous body that we see here. What I'm lining right now, that is the vitreous body. So this is the vitreous body. This is the vitreous body. This is the vitreous body. Now, if we looked at this body here, we'll say it's transparent. Transparent, white, transparent. That means that it is avascular, no blood. Okay. And also, it's a gel-like material. The vitreous body is a gel-like material. Okay, why it's a gel-like? Because it's formed of 99% of water and 1% glycosaminoglycan. What is glycosaminoglycan? They are a specific type of proteins. So this structure of water and glycosaminoglycan gives it the gel-like structure. And you would ask, why is it important to be like a gel-like? Yes. Why? Because we'll see the function that the vitreous body is a shock absorber. So if there's a punch, though, once there's a punch in the eye, the eye will absorb that shock. Why? Because of that gel-like structure. Okay. The position of the vitreous body, it lies between the lens here and the retina. Yes. So the yellow color here, this is the retina. Okay, so the vitreous body lies between the lens here and the retina here. Okay, okay. Now to the function of the vitreous body. Okay, we said the first thing, it's a gel-like, so it's a shock absorber. Okay, it's also a reservoir for nutrients and chemical mediators. Okay, the third thing is that the retina receives the light after passing through the vitreous body. So we can say the function SRR, shock absorber, reservoir, and the retina receiving the light after passing through the vitreous body. So that was about the vitreous body. If you look at this picture here, you would see that the vitreous body was injured. Okay, there's a vitreous detachment from the retina, So this is the retina here. Okay, and now there's a space. Okay, there's a space here. So this is a detached vitreous. So I think this slide will show you the vitreous body in a very clear way. Okay. Now let's read the contents of the eye, the lens, and vitreous body from the department. So the lens and the vitreous body. Okay. After the light passes the pupil, it meets the lens. The lens is biconvex, as we said here, avascular, no blood, and what makes the lens transparent. The position of the lens, it lies behind the iris, and it is a refractive media. Okay. If we looked at this video here, we would see the biconvexity here of the lens and the refraction of the light. Look at the light moving in a straight line when it meets the cornea, I'm sorry, with the lens, it refract and change its direction. All right. So there's a space lies between the iris and the ciliary body, anteriorly, and the lens. That space is called the posterior chamber. Okay. Okay, and we said that it's the refraction or the refractive media means changing the acure of the light. Okay, anyway. Refraction of the lens. Refractive power is measured by a unit called diameter. Okay, lens contributes about positive 20 diameter refractive power of the eye. Accommodation is a process in which the eye changes its shape and curvature to increase the refractive power to see the near objects. Okay. Accommodation, another definition for accommodation. It's a process of changing the lens convexity to adjust the focus of the eye. How is the accommodation achieved? Okay, we need to remember the slide that we showed the anterior view and the lateral view, as I said. Okay, so you would see that the ciliary muscle contracts. The ciliary muscle, I said, is a circle. When it contracts, it becomes more narrow, more wider, which may make the venules relax. Okay, when the venules relax or the ligaments relax, what happens? The lens, which is elastic, becomes more convex. Okay, more convexity will increase the refractive power, and this will adjust the focus of the eye that we will be able to see near object, and this is accommodation. Okay, let's talk about the capsule right now. Okay, the capsule surrounds the lens, has anterior portion and posterior portion. The anterior portion has an epithelial layer, which forms the lens fibers. Okay, the formation of new fibers continue throughout life. Okay, with age, very important question. With age, lens loses its ability to increase power of refraction. With age, progressive loss of accommodation. Why is that? Because with age, the lens proteins gather more in the center of the lens. Okay, the lens proteins lose fluid, and the gathering of the proteins in the center of the lens with loss of fluid will lead to sclerosis and hardening. Okay, so sclerosis and hardening will lead to differentiation of lens proteins. How? There will be hard proteins and soft proteins. The hard proteins in the nucleus in the center of the lens. The soft protein in the cortex at the periphery of the lens. Okay. And this differentiation of the lens proteins will lead to what? The lens becomes less pliable, less elastic, it means, and this will lead to loss of accommodation. Okay, by this we ended the lens. Let's see the vitreous body. The vitreous body is a transparent gel-like structure. Okay, it lies between the lens and the retina. The structure of the vitreous body, 99% water and 1% glycosaminoglycan. The function is RR. Okay, it's a shock absorber gel-like, a reservoir for nutrients and chemical mediators. The retina receives light after passing through the vitreous body. Okay. By this, what have we done? Okay, let's see this. Give me the pen. We finished. Wait. Give me the pen. Give me the pen. Here we go. We finished the outer coat, which is formed of the cornea and the sclera. And we said it was a fibrous layer. Its main function was the protection of the eye. And we finished the middle coat, as we finished the iris, the color part, the ciliary body, and the choroids. And that layer, its main function was the nutrition of the retina and all other, giving blood supplies yani, to the other structure of the eye. The contents of the eye, there's the lens, and there's the vitreous body. Now to the last and most important layer, the retina. So, as we see here, I want to tell you this. So, as we said, this is the sclera and this is the cornea. Okay, the first layer. The second layer is the choroid, and the third layer here is the retina. It's the innermost layer, the most important one. Okay, if we got a close look at this retina here, we'd see that the retina is formed like a neurosensor. Look at this. This is a neurosensor, and that sensor is sensitive to the light. So, if a light comes to the retina, what happens like this? So if there's a light coming to the retina here, it falls on the retina like that. Okay, here we go, here we go. So this is the light. So these neurosensors transmit or convert that light into electric impulses. Okay. All right, this electric impulses, okay, from here, this is the eye, get throughout the eye through the optic nerve. Okay, so this is the optic nerve. The optic nerve transmit these electric impulses to the cerebral cortex like this. Okay, and this path here, as I'm like doing this, as I'm pointing to, this is called the visual pathway. Okay, okay. So another important piece of info I want to tell you like this. Okay, well. Here we go. So this is the retina, as I said. Okay, and the retina, all the neurosensors of the retina gather together at an opening of the eye. Okay, called the lemna cerebrosa, and gather together to make the optic nerve. There's an important question here I found in the book department here. Is the optic nerve a true nerve? So I think the answer to this question, what is a true nerve? A true nerve is just a group of nerve cells covered by a neural sheath. Okay, there's nothing inside this neural sheath but nerve cells. But if we looked here at the optic nerve, I want you to look at this close picture here. I'm pointing to, I want you to look at this here. I want you to look here. Okay, you'd see what? You would see that these are nerve cells and there's blood vessels moving along with them, right? So it's not a true nerve, it's just a tract for the CNS. Okay? Okay. Here comes a very important question. What is the most important structure of the eye? The most important structure of the eye will be the retina. Why? I want to tell you this. Look at this light ray, okay? It's coming to the eye. It will pass first through the cornea, okay? Then through the pupil, then through the lens, then through the vitreous body until it reaches the retina. Okay, so you would see that the light passes through lots of structure in order to reach the retina. So the most important structure is the retina because it is we are like adding like a lot of changes on the light in order to reach the retina because there was like a dysfunction of any of this content and the light didn't reach the retina. There's no photo, there's no image that you will see. So in order for you to see, you need to make sure that the light falls on the retina. Okay. Also, you will see that the retina here lies at the inner part of the eye. So like it's behind lots of structure to provide for the retina the protection. Okay. So if we ask that question, what is the most important structure of the eye? We would say that the cornea and the iris and the ciliary body and the vitreous body and the lens, they all serve the purpose of delivering the light to the retina. They all serve the purpose of the protection and the nutrition for the retina. So, God bless the retina. Now let's see the department book. So, here we go. The innermost layer of the eye is called the retina. Okay. Inner coat, retina. Okay. So, the retina. It's a neurosensor. What is that sensor sensitive to? The light. Okay. So the retina converts light into electric impulses. These electric impulses are transmitted to the brain via the optic nerve. The optic nerve, you need to know that the optic nerve is a tract of the CNS rather than a true nerve. Okay. The part of the brain responsible for vision and giving meaning to the electric impulses is called the occipital cortex. The route from the retina to the occipital cortex is called the visual pathway. Okay, the most important structure of the eye is the retina. Why? Because the cornea, the iris, the ciliary body, the vitreous body, the lens, all serve the purpose of delivering the light to the retina. All serve the purpose of the protection and the nutrition of the retina. And with that, we finished the coats and the contents of the eye. We finished the outer coats, we finished the middle coats, and we finished the inner coat. We finished the contents, lens, and the vitreous body. We finished the structure of the eye. All right, all right, all right. So there are additional structures of the eye which provide additional protection to the eye. So there's the adenexa and the orbit. So the orbit, as we see here, is a bony socket. Okay, uh, it's place where the eye is placed. In the orbit, eye is surrounded by fat, muscles, nerves, vessels, and lacrimal gland. And the orbit will be discussed in the next chapter in details. So now to the conjunctiva. In order to understand the conjunctiva, I need to understand this photo. Okay, so this is the cornea. This is the outer surface of the eye, of the sclera here. Okay, this part here is that part here. This cornea here is this cornea here. Okay, and this is the eyelid, the upper eyelid, that upper eyelid here. And this is the lower eyelid. Okay, so this is the lower eyelid here. Okay, so what is the conjunctiva? Conjunctiva is a thin membrane, transparent thin membrane that covers the inner aspect of the eyelid and the outer surface of the sclera. Okay, but it doesn't cover the cornea. Okay, so the conjunctiva lubricates the eye surface. Okay, by tear formation. All right. Okay. So if we looked at this picture here, you would think that this is the sclera only. No, there's a membrane, a thin membrane on that sclera right now, which is called the conjunctiva. Also, under the upper and under the lower lid, there's a thin membrane which is called the conjunctiva. Okay, from this picture here, we will divide the conjunctiva into three parts. The first part that covers the eyelid called the palpebral part, okay, or the palpebral conjunctiva. And the second part, which cover the outer surface of the eye, the sclera, is called the pulpa, pulpar part, okay? The pulpar part, or the pulpar conjunctiva. And then the third part is called the fornix. You know, you see this pouch, you see this curve, this is called the fornix. This is called the fornix, the superior fornix and the inferior fornix, okay? So let's stay this part again. Okay, this part I'm pointing to here, this is the pulpar part, the part that covered the outer surface of the eye or the sclera. Okay, the part under the upper lid here and under the lower lid here is called the palpar part. Okay, and the last thing that is here, you know, you see this curve here, here. This is, you know, it's not that, it's just, I don't think if you can see it or not, but it's under here. That is called the fornix. What is the fornix? I would like to see it here. This is the fornix. This is the fornix. The fornix is a pouch that connects the palpar part with the pulpar part. Okay, it connects the palpebral part here with the pulpar part here. Okay, okay. There are two fornix, the superior fornix and the inferior fornix. Okay, okay, okay. The fornix of the lower lid here, as we see here, here is the site where the eye drops are instilled. If a doctor prescribes for you an eye drop, the place where you put the eye drops, where you instill your eye drops, is at the lower fornix. Okay, okay. So what is the summary of the conjunctiva? The conjunctiva is a thin membrane. Okay, a thin membrane that covers the eyelid and the outer surface of the eye. That covers the eyelid here and here, and the outer surface of the eye, that's clear. Okay. And we divided the conjunctiva into three parts. First part is the palpebral part related to the eyelid. The palpebral part related to the eyelid. The second part is called the pulpa part. The pulpa part here. Look at the word pulpa here. The pulpa part here. This is the pulpal part related to the sclera. All right. And the third part of the conjunctiva is called the fornix. The fornix. The fornix is a curve or a pouch, okay, that connect the palpebral part with the pulpar part, connects the palpebral part with the pulpar part, okay? And there's here the superior fornix, inferior fornix, okay? And the inferior fornix is the place where you instill the eye drops. That's in brief words the conjunctiva. Okay, let's read this last part from the departing book. So as we said, there's an additional protection to the eye, the adnexa and the orbit. Okay, the orbit is a bony socket in which the eye is placed. In the orbit, eye is surrounded by fat, muscles, nerves, vessels, and the lacrimal glands. The lacrimal gland is a gland that secretes watery part of tears. Tears are formed of three parts. The watery part of the tears is secreted by the lacrimal glands. Okay, all the tears are drained through the lacrimal drainage system. And the lacrimal gland will be discussed in details in the next chapter. Okay, and the eyelids. Okay, protect the surface of the eye. And the eyelid, its histology and every detail about it will be discussed in the next chapter. Okay, now to the conjunctiva. It's membrane. That membrane is transparent. Okay, right? That membrane is transparent. Okay, it covers the inner aspect of the eyelid. Here we go. This is the inner aspect of the eyelid. Outer surface of the eye that's clearer. It's this part. Okay, lubricates the eye surface by contributing to tear formation. Okay. Part of conjunctiva. Part covering the eyelid is called the palpebral part. Part, oh my God, it's a very, I don't know, there's like, confusion between the palpebral and pulpa, okay? Like, but you got it, man, you got it. Okay, part covering the eyelid is called palpebral part. Part covering the eye globe or the sclera is called the pulpa part. And the third part, the fornix. Okay. The fornix is the pouch, here the pouch, connected the palpebral part with the pulpa part of the conjunctiva. There are two fornices, the fornix of the upper lid and the fornix of the lower lid. All right. All right. Okay, here we go. The fornix of the lower lid is the site where the eye drops are instilled. Okay. The last slide of this lecture is called the extraocular muscles. The extraocular muscles. These are the extraocular muscles here. They are attached to the sclera here. Yeah, so they around the eye inside the orbit. Okay, here, this is the orbit. If we imagine this is the orbit, these are the muscles that are surrounding the eye. They are responsible for the moving of the eye in different direction. Also, the extraocular muscles are responsible for moving the eye in a coordinated way. By this, we have come to an end to this lecture and the anatomy of the eye. So, thank you for listening to me. I hope that you understood everything I said. And after watching this video, what you should do is that you should read the presentation, okay? And we will send you a quiz at the end of the week. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to message us on the Blue Falcon platform WhatsApp. Thank you for listening and goodbye.